So the crypto market is taking a bit of a hit, and the question is, should we buy the dip? That's what retail always love to do: buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And I think it's a smart idea if you consider that the bull market is, closer than that it's already over, right? In my opinion, it hasn't even really begun yet. And the best positions is what we can build right now. So in this video, I would like to go over some altcoins that I am buying during a good dip. And let's review the market to see, like, hey, is Bitcoin in danger right here? Because it is hanging on some tight support. And if it gets broken, where can we might go? So if you already like the content, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. There's a Patreon link down below where you get exclusive content. And let's get right into it. So if we do take a look at Bitcoin on the daily, you'll notice that we are bouncing off that $40,200 level, give or take, for quite a while already. We broke above this area at the beginning of December. It's now more the end of January, and we retested. And you know what they say, the longer you knock on the door, eventually the door breaks. It does feel like, hey, every time we do get down here, it's these small wicks, right? So we don't stay there for long, which means that once we get down there, the bulls be like, yeah, no, okay, let's just buy it all up. And then the bulls are in control again. So that looks quite healthy. Most volume is sitting at $44,000. There's not a lot of volume right here, as you can see. So there's not a lot of trading going on right here. So we do have to take a look like, hey, if we do go down again, what's the biggest level we can go to? And most volume is sitting at around $37,500. You can see that there's a lot of trading over here. So if we do draw a line at around that level, does it make sense? Well, you'll see that we have a lot of shit going on right here. We had some support over here as well. We had major support over here in 2022 at the beginning of it. And now we are after a lot of resistance. We haven't retested that level yet. So in my opinion, either Bitcoin has to hold up right here, or we can fall another 10%, give or take. So far from the top, Bitcoin has gone down 15%, right? So if we do fall another 10%, what could altcoins potentially do? Well, let's take a look at the altcoin market, because Bitcoin fell 15% and the altcoin market fell around the same, right? So if Bitcoin falls another 10%, it could definitely be that the altcoin market falls 10% with it, and that brings it around $170 billion. However, as you can see, most volume comes in over here, 165, give or take. So it could definitely be that altcoins take a slightly bigger hit and that altcoins fall a little harder than Bitcoin does. And that's like normal, right? If we do take a look at this this area, hey, that's exactly where this resistance came in, and where we had a lot of resistance over here, maybe a lot of support over here as well, over here at the beginning of the last bull run as well. And also we broke above. We never really retested after we really had that big breakout. And like I said before, it looks like this red area and this green area is the range for altcoins right now, right? So if we go up from this point to the higher range, altcoins can go up 17, 25%, depends exactly on where in that area we can go to. And if we go down, it can go down around like 20%, give or take, right? So that's the whole range. And we can stay in that range for a long time. It doesn't have to mean we have to go and break out like right away. If you look, we were in this range here and we broke out, and basically we from August 2020 until December 2020, so that's definitely a couple of months, we didn't do much. The uptrend was there, very slow. But then again, here we were at the same point as we were over here. So August, September, October, November, December, 4 months, a complete quarter. The altcoin market didn't move before the bull run really happened, right? And this was after the halving. Well, we still have the halving to go. So it could definitely be that we will just range for a couple of months, and that we can go up all this way, go down all this way. But overall, it is just a range. And I do think that if we are at the lower side of the range, it is a good accumulation area, right? Like I said in the last video, I think, if we do break this and we go down here at 130 billion, and for your perspective, that's around a 30% drop for the altcoin market, we have to hold that level, right? Because this was the range that we have been in for a long time, and we were, knocking on the resistance door, and we couldn't break it. And eventually we broke it. And once we broke it, we were flying really hard, right? From the moment of the breakout, it had a 70% pump, right? And you'll see that a lot of volume is coming in here as well. So a lot of people are waiting to trade this range again. Yeah, if you're a bull, you do not want this to happen, of course, right? Overall, S&P made new highs, by the way. So I think it's interesting to at least mention it, right? It has to mean something. It's good. It's good. It's a good thing. It's good. So let's take a look at what altcoins I am buying during the dip. This is in no particular order, by the way. Just random stuff that I like and that I feel like, hey, this could potentially do very well. First one is IMX. A lot of games are coming to IMX, and just one hit and IMX will do fantastic. Now, IMX was in a big range between like 150 and 50 cents, give or take. Broke out, also never retested that 150 level. And we should definitely do that. It went as high as $2.60. All right, so if you feel like, okay, $2.60 is at least a level it could go to, hey, then you can buy it 40% cheaper already. And if it then goes back to that level, you already have a 70% gain, right? And this was, again, not during a parabolic bull run or something like an alt season. This was just during the phase where Bitcoin started to do well and altcoins finally started to follow again, right? So can you imagine what it does if we are in a bull market and even in an alt season bull market? I think IMX is a great pick for the next bull market to be in. Now, like I said, I am not buying it at this level, though. I do feel like it is still too high for me. Also, you can see the volume. It's a new indicator that I'm using, but it's really useful. But most of the volume comes in at around 140, and that's exactly where I've drawn this. As you can see, we had a lot of resistance in this area. Well, a lot, right? It was the range. We had a lot of support right here. You can draw it back further. As you can see, we had support, we had resistance, we had a lot of resistance, and then we broke out. So people are definitely waiting to invest in that range, and I think it is a very smart idea. Next one that I think is super interesting is Beam. Beam is holding up, can't lie. Beam is definitely doing well. If you look, Beam is quite new. And it is basically just ranging for a long while. Most interest is sitting at around where we are right now, the current price, by the way. And it can't hurt maybe picking up some Beam at where we are right now. If you look at the range, it has some spikes to the up and the downside, but overall the range is between 2.2 cents and 1.8. It's a small range, but still, if you buy it here and you sell it here, 25% gain, right? And then you wait and you buy back. So you can trade it. Overall, I do think that this area is great to accumulate, and Beam does very well. Fomo Forged is taking a good hit as well, by the way. And what I said earlier, this level right here of like $5.20 is a level that I'm very interested in, because also, Fomo Forged was in this range from May 2022 until November 2023. Up, down, up, down. This was such an easy trade, right? But we broke out of it. But we never so far retested the previous resistance. Usually, that's what happens, right? You break out, you retest. We haven't done that yet. So we need a little bigger dip. But if, Fomo Forged goes down with another like 14%, then it starts to get interesting. And I'm not saying that I'm buying it right away. What I would like to see for these kind of things is that it does this, bounces, retest, right? And then go up again. Then you buy the retest. You don't buy this exact low, but you know that you're buying the retest. Because in the same case, it does this, and we go down. And then your entry is fucked. right? So for the long-term accumulation, it is less bad because I think Volkerforce will do very well in the next bull run, but still. Ultra is a, how do I say this? High risk play. Yeah, a lot of people maybe don't agree. But Ultra is like, it has been underperforming really hard. If you look over the longer time frame, you see that lower lows, lower highs. It's still in a downtrend. It's not catching up with the rest of the crypto market at all. And if you look where most volume is sitting, yeah, that's around the area where we are right now. So if we do break down, then it could be lights out for Ultra, and it's high risk at the moment. AVAX, still too high for me, but I do think that that $22, give or take, is a very interesting level. Also, if you do take a look at where the most volume for AVAX is sitting, I think it's around this level right here. Yeah, it's around $22 right here. So $22 is interesting for AVAX. Also was a range, broke out, hasn't retested yet, right? Now, usually when, that's the thing, right? Something does this, boring, right? Nobody's interested. Then all of a sudden it breaks out and everybody is like, oh, AVAX, oh, Solana, it's so great. Yeah, where were you here, right? You weren't there, but now you're buying it. That's not that smart because now we are already down for 4 weeks straight and AVAX already took a loss of 35%, right? It could take a long time before we hit this level. Maybe it won't happen until the end of February. Man, maybe even March, right? But if it does happen eventually, hey, that's nice. I mean, you already have a 35% discount and you can get another like 25% on top of that. All you have to do is be patient. Chainlink, same story. I like it. I think it will do very well. But Chainlink is high in the sky right now. And there is a lot of volume going on right now. I think most is here. Yeah, most is here at around $14, $15, give or take. But that $10 area never saw a retest. Never. Hey, and maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. But technical wise, it would make sense if you see such a pattern that you do break out, retest, and then go up. Usually you do not break out, stay there, and then go up even more. That's usually not how it works, but usually. Altora. Altora is one of my favorites, to be honest, because it has shown strength. It showed strength in complete 2023. You know, this was where Bitcoin started to do well, but most altcoins did not, and they started to do well since here. Altora was front running the entire altcoin market collectively, and after when that second push came for the altcoin market, it also did like a 3x, right? Like, what was it? Yeah, 3x, right? So, and now it's going down again, finally, right? Because it was sitting at 8 cents. It's now sitting at 5. So why couldn't it go back down to like 3.5, right? If we do take a look at where the most volume is coming in for Altora, yeah, that's like that 3 cent level. First 4 cent, by the way, a lot of volume over there. And that there has been traded a lot right there also says why it's going to be traded a lot in the future, right? Because people, for example, sold here, right? But they went see it went up eventually. So they maybe feel like, oh yeah, once it gets down there, I'm gonna buy back, right? Or people bought here and it went down and they sold right here, and then once it goes up again, they'd be like, okay, let me get that, you know, initial entry back, right? It's a psychological thing. Therefore, like, trend lines work so well. I'm not the best at explaining it, but it is true. See the fucked. It's like, yeah, it's my favorite project out there, but it lost it completely. See if I lost it, man. What it did is look at this green small box, right? Heavy support, a little wick, and big resistance, lots of support, and now we broke it. Now we bounced here, which doesn't make sense on my chart. If I draw a line right there, like exactly where we bounced. There's not much on the chart where you'll see that it found support resistance. It went straight through these bars basically. And for CDFI as fund, I do think like, hey, this whole green area, it's a big range, but there's a lot going on right there, in my opinion. So if we do take a look, if we zoom in a little bit on this, for example, you can probably see, come on, volume, work with me. Don't update, don't do anything right here. Too bad. I wanted to say you can probably see that there's a lot of volume here, but it's not really the case. There's a lot of shit is going on right here, by the way. If we do take a look how it behaved over the last time frame that we are in, yeah, then you'll see that there's quite some volume over here, and not much right now. So CDFI is hanging there. If it breaks, yeah, then 240, give or take, should be an area of interest. Maybe 220 as well. If it breaks that, then 140 could definitely happen. Hey, and that's exactly where this came in. This support right here, this resistance over here. So it does make sense. But at 240, it is already getting interesting. Now, what I must say, man, if you are into CDFI, then you'll know that it is meant for pre-sales. Okay, pre-sales are the shit. Pre-sales are awesome, man. You can really buy a coin at the lows. All right. If it goes lower, you can get a refund, and if it goes higher, you make profits. Like, come on, it's incredible. Now, if you look, for example, this project, and you have probably followed this. This wasn't released on CDFI though, but this did almost a 300x, and it stayed there. Right? It's not like a 300x and a little wick and you weren't able to sell it anyway and then it went down so they can say, oh, we did 300x. No. It like, I think they what was the initial price? Like 5 cents? Or it's still sitting at a 200x basically. What the hell? Right? Now, this is a BRC layer 2. I'm going to cover a BRC layer 2 soon as well on the channel, and even a launchpad for BRC projects. But the overall, if you want to really make good money with crypto, you can, of course, look at all these projects, right? IMX, great. Will it make you a 200x? No. Nothing in this list will. And the projects that are out now that might do a 200x are the projects that are 99% likely to wreck you as well. Because if you want to make 200x's, you have to go to the shitcoin casino, and that's a dangerous place. So you don't that easily make a 200x on the open market. Although you always hear these stories like, well, look at Bank. Yeah, but who the fuck knew that you had to invest in Bank instead of the other 3 million meme coins that you probably lost money on? Like, that's such a big gamble. With pre-sales, it's so much easier. Therefore, I'm in CDFI, I'm in Gains Associates, I'm in Neo Tokyo, I'm in Nexus, I'm in Engine Starter, I'm in all these launchpads. And if you are interested in looking at these launchpads, you can also look at my token. What do you mean? Not financial advice, but we are investing in crypto. Launchpads, pre-sales, seed sales, IDOs, ICOs, whatever, startups. And we just share our profit with the community. Soon we will rebrand though, because what do you mean is like we have a retarded hamster as a logo, right? We felt like, okay, we need the hype, so let's give it a meme. But there's nothing meme about our project. We are a VC, so we're gonna rebrand to a VC. So do check that out. I think other projects can take us a lot more serious then as well. This will disappear, by the way. We haven't renounced contract. That's a good thing, so we can do anything we want with it. I'm doxxed anyway, so nobody can has to be scared of it. And we have made a couple of great investments. All right, great investments. One investment that we have made is in not in this project, by the way, is in Xverse. We invested $70,000 in Xverse. Right now, they partnered with Immutable. They are releasing on CDFI. They had a private sale on DexCheck. They are on Bool Starter. They are going to release on ChainGPT. They have all the big launchpads, all the big partners, the good product behind them. So Also one that's coming up through basically all my favorite launchpads. So do check it out. New projects are always the best way to make a lot of money. And I'm gonna talk a lot on this channel about new projects because it's just like the best way to like, it's with crypto very simple. Are you early, then you make money, right? If you are late, it doesn't matter. It's so simple. If you go to CoinGecko, right, and you go, for example, Bitcoin, right? Good project. But if you were in this bull run, for example, if you were late and you bought it here, then it didn't matter that's a good project. You went down anyway, right? But if you look at a bad project, for example, I'll always take this as an example. People think I'm a big ass hater, but it's just it just sucks. I don't mind. If you look at a bad project, it doesn't matter, because even bad projects, if you just buy it, you know, early enough, you can make like insane money, right? As long as it has the hype, you know, some projects prove like, hey, it doesn't need much. It doesn't like need a utility. It doesn't need. All it needs is hype, community, people believing in it, right? So that's the cool thing about these pre-sales, that these pre-sales, you cannot be more early. Yeah, you can be in seed sales, by the way. And therefore, what do you mean is interesting, maybe. But yeah, I'm going to preach a lot about that. I mean, it's like, even if you look at Bitcoin, right, and you look at this bull run, even if you invested in some projects here, you would have made sick gains, right? If you invested in Bitcoin right here, you would have made barely anything. Most altcoins on the open market already topped out over here. Maybe had a second breath over here, but they didn't give you 100x. But if you invested into like some seed sales, private sales, pre-sales over here, they blew up. They blew up, right? So, yeah, let's talk more about that. I want this community to be really, really rich. And I did it before, talked about the Elysium. We were buying the nodes early, made a lot of money with that. The Sonoris nodes, made a lot of money with that. Myriad nodes, some people have Myriad nodes running, made some good money with that as well, right? Chain GPT, made a lot of money with that. Now let's make a lot of money with the next ones. And I'm so fucking hyped, guys. So if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Let me know what you want to see, what you want to know. If you know certain things that I don't, let me know. Let's learn from each other and let's do this together.